It's that time to turn on your radio. Tune in now for great songs, old and new. Roger Williams on Trent Sound Radio.
Well, a very good evening to you and welcome to A World of Difference. After an unexpected break last week, I think we're firing on all cylinders just at the moment. I do hope so anyway. My name's Roger Williams. I'm here for the next 3 hours with some terrific music, starting off with mainly folk music in the first hour. Second hour, an interview with P.F. Sloan. If it happened on the west coast of the States in the 60s, P.F. Sloan was there and had something to do with it. An interesting interview, I'm sure you'll find after 8. Hour 3, pretty much anything goes as usual, so do email in your requests. studio@trentsound.com. studio@trentsound.com. And if I suddenly disappear off the air, I can nip round to number 37 to find someone who will make it all right. So that's all right then, isn't it? One or two reflections too on the Great British Folk Festival at Skegness, which took place the weekend before last. Very fine it was too. What can be better than Skegness in December? Maybe staying in and listening to A World of Difference tonight. You don't have to travel so far. A fair sprinkling of Christmas fare this evening, and we're going to start with the wonderful Steve Ashley, The Spirit of Christmas.
Of Christmas past, the flicker within the fireplace, plucking the letter from the heart, floating it on a snowflake. The man that pulls the bell rope down knows well that I am the ringing, carol singing in the town, but tell you that I am the singer. Ghost of Christmas past, haunting in the evening. In winter time the paths are dark, and travellers think they see things. I am the lonely cart will leave, the creaking in the branches. I am the cheeky headscarf thief, teaching the trees their dances. Ghost of Christmas past, pleasure within the giver, glowing within the welcome glass, the quiver within the shiver. I am the mitten on the hand, the head in the balaclava. I am the goodwill in the land. the invisible Christmas Father.
On Christmas night all Christians sing to hear the news the angels bring. On Christmas night all Christians sing to hear the news the angels bring. News of great joy, news of great mirth, news of our merciful Prince So why should men on earth be so sad, since our Redeemer made us glad? So why should men on earth be so sad, since our Redeemer made us glad? When from our sins he set us free, all for to gain our liberty. When sin departs before his grace, then life and health come in its place. When sin departs before his grace, then life and health come in its place. Angels and men with joy may sing, all for to see the newborn we have light, which made the angels sing this night. All out of darkness we have light, which made the angels sing this night. Glory to God and peace to men, now and forevermore. Amen. Glory to God and peace to men, now and forevermore. Amen.
This is officially a Noddy Holder free zone. Estimable though Mr. Holder is. Plenty of Christmas stuff tonight and in the next couple of weeks as we launch ourselves into the festive season. We cannot ignore it anymore. And we started off with the excellent Steve Ashley in the spirit of Christmas. And there'll be one more from Steve Ashley in the final hour of the programme tonight, provided I remember. And after that, it was Kerfuffle, the wonderful Kerfuffle, Sam Sweeney and friends, and the Sussex Carol. Well, who's got the coveted first email slot? It's always Peter in Hamburg, isn't it? But not this week. Very good evening to Paul. He's first in this week with what he calls the coveted first email slot. But Peter, of course, was not far behind. And just a brief, I'll write to you about this, Peter, but a brief note of thanks for what turned up in the letterbox at Williams Towers this very evening. And he says, in poetic form, Paul, by the way, says he wasn't going to do a poem because I probably haven't got time for all of Paradise Lost, which I studied at school and came back to and read a bit of relatively recently. I thought, actually, this is rather good stuff. I didn't appreciate it in 3B or whatever it was at Plimpton Grammar School. Right, hooray, hooray, again full whack. Roger Williams, thank God he's back. Trent Sound listeners, raise your hands. Tonight we want to sing and dance. Yes, all right. From now on, we'll do it every day, no matter if we're straight, lesbian, or gay. Yes, this is an equal opportunities program, that's for sure. And very good evening to Gary Henshaw. The answer is yes, and I'll bring it in the first hour. So stand by for that, Gary, sometime in this hour of the program. Certainly do it before your bedtime, that's for sure. Now, I I was absolutely appalled by the waste of time and effort that went into the BBC Music Awards. Good grief. Do people like Coldplay, Ed Sheeran and co need any more assistance than they're already getting? I don't think so. It's absolutely dire. And the choices of tunes for the songs of the year were just quite simply appalling. We know better here, don't we? And here's two terrific songs in a row that would knock spots off virtually every single one that was nominated by the BBC. Let's start with the wonderful Marina Florance and her song, certainly one of my songs of the year, Getting Away.
Lately I've seen a change in you and a little change in me. We're habitually entwined in day-to-day activity, and I passed you in the hallway and once again on the stairs. And I was taken aback when you didn't even notice I was there. Lately we've been running around life's most demanding ways, and if we had the time to speak, don't think we'd know what to say. So wrapped up in the trivial things we didn't read the signs, though the cracks were there for all to see, we pretended we were fine. So I'm getting away from all this, getting away, it'll be bliss, 'cause I know a place where no one will find me, just a little way from here. I'm gonna make a little home from home and simply disappear.
I'll wake up late one morning with a space there in the bed. You'll think my shoes and coat must be laying in another place instead. You'll call me from the kitchen, search from room to room, but all too soon you'll realize there's nothing more that you can do.
'Cause I'm getting away from all this, getting away, it'll be bliss, 'cause I know a place where no one will find me, just a little way from here. I'm gonna make a little home from home and simply disappear. When things have finally settled down and we both pondered for a while, well, I'll turn up on your doorstep with a big happy smile, and our love will be much stronger, and those other little things won't matter anymore, 'cause we're together once again. And we're getting away from all this, getting away, it'll be bliss, 'cause I know a place where no one will find us, just a little way from here. We're gonna make a little home from home and simply disappear.
This is Kim Lowings. You're listening to A World of Difference on Trent Sound with Roger Williams.
One fine October morning, the sun shone all around. Such a lovely time of year to be working on the ground. Many a friend surrounded us, come to enjoy the day and work upon their plot of land, all in their own way. Tell me the ways of the past and teach me how to grow. Show me the ways of the land 90s kids TV. But please don't judge too harshly, we really try our best. You'll be surprised how much we care, and we'll soon pick up the rest. Tell me the ways of the past and teach me how to grow. Show me the ways of the land through sunshine, wind, rain and snow. And it's you that holds the key, passing on tradition sustains our history. And it's true that sometimes things get lost and slowly fade away. So before they do, let's sing a tune in remembrance of today. Tell me the ways of the past and teach me how to grow. Show me the ways of the land through sunshine, wind, rain and snow. One fine October morning, the sun shone all around. Such a lovely time of the year to be working on the ground. Many a friend surrounded us, come to enjoy the day and work upon their plot of land, all in their own way. Tell me the ways of the past and teach me how to grow. Show me the ways of the land through sunshine, wind, rain and snow. Tell me the ways of the past and teach me how to grow. Show me the ways of the land through sunshine, wind, rain and snow. Black-eyed Susan growing up the fence and up she grows. Black-eyed Susan growing up the fence and up she grows. Black-eyed Susan growing up the fence and up she grows. Black-eyed Susan growing up the fence and up she grows. Orange and yellow and black and green and all the things that you have seen. Orange and yellow and black and green and all the things to come. Orange and yellow and black and green and all the things that you have seen. Orange and yellow and black and green and all the things to come. Black-eyed Susan growing up the fence and up she grows. Black-eyed Susan growing up the fence and up she grows. Black-eyed Susan growing up the fence and up she grows. Black-eyed Susan growing up the fence and up she grows.
Well, there's a couple of nominations for Songs of the Year for you. It knocks spots off what the BBC had on their appalling programme the other night. Not that I saw all of it, mind, but just saw enough to think, I really don't need this. Good grief. Charles Ives, the American composer, once said, the prizes are for mediocrity. And I think that's probably what we got, both on the X Factor and indeed on the BBC Music Awards. Am I having a little go on my hobby horse here? I do believe I am. Anyway, we heard Kim Lowings, The Allotment, followed by a little Black-Eyed Susan tune, and before that, the wonderful Marina, Florance, and Getting Away. Terrific stuff. Now, as previously mentioned, a couple of weekends ago, I was at Butlin Skegness with a whole bunch of really, really, really nice people, and I'm going to play a couple of acts that we saw there, one of which I know is a bit of a favourite of Hugh Slaney, so not the first one necessarily, but the second one I know he likes a lot, if memory serves. And I'm going to play first Wee Banjo 3. Now, I did interview them at the festival, and I need to edit that and get that into a programme probably in the new year. We need to know about Wee Banjo 3 because they're going to turn up at the South Wales Folk Festival in June, and they are extremely good. So I won't tell you a great deal about them now. We'll just have a listen to them, but in the new year, you'll hear an interview with them. artists that we heard at the Great British Folk Festival in Butlin, Skegness. A very pleasant weekend indeed. A slightly bizarre place to it. I don't know which act came on and said, "Hello, Butlins." They said, "We're doing really well. We thought we'd have to start at Pontins and work our way up." Can't remember who said that. It may have been the Young Uns, and I'll play something by the Young Uns a little bit later on. Right, 2 requests. Oh, hello to Helen Meissner, I think is there, if I'm judging the social media correctly. Tell you what, after these next 2, I'll show you a bit of Minnie Birch. That would be a good idea, wouldn't it? Okay, so next 2 are requests, and then I'll bung in Minnie Birch's excellent Snowman from the Folkstock album A Christmas Present, which got a terrific review, quite rightly, in the Sunday Times, in the Sunday just gone yesterday, and a much-deserved review, that's for sure. So, right, yeah, 2 requests. First one is for Matthew Wildman. He will have had a little dance, I think, with Thomas just before bath time, and this may be something to do with that. And I do hope the little blighter has learned the art of sleeping for long periods of time again. But with a couple of teeth coming through for the first time and a bit of a cold, the odds are against, aren't they, Matt? But let's hope. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. And after that, a request for Gary Henshaw, who I wrongly thought was going to have an early night after 9 o'clock, but apparently he's going to be dragged to the 3 Horseshoes very much against his will. So first one for Matthew, second one for Gary and Lynette. And a very good evening to all of you.
legend lives on from the Chippewa on down of the big lake they call Gitchagumi. The lake, it is said, never gives up her dead when the skies of November turn gloomy. With a load of iron ore, 26,000 tons more than the Edmund Fitzgerald weighed empty. That good ship and true was a bone to be chewed when the gales of November came early. ship was the pride of the American side, coming back from some mill in Wisconsin. As the big freighters go, it was bigger than most, with a crew and good captain well seasoned, concluding some terms with a couple of steel firms when they left fully loaded for Cleveland. Then later that night when the ship's bell rang, could it be the north wind they'd been feeling? The wind in the wires made a tattletale sound, and the wave broke over the railing. And every man knew, as the captain did too, 'twas the witch of November come stealing. The dawn came late and the breakfast had to wait, when the gales of November came slashing. When afternoon came, it was freezing rain in the face of a hurricane west wind. When supper time came, the old cook came on deck saying, "Fellas, it's too rough to feed you." At 7 p.m. a main hatchway gave in. He said, "Fellas, it's been good to know you." The captain wired in, he had water coming in, and the good ship and crew was in peril. And later that night, when his lights went out of sight, came the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. Does anyone know where the love of God goes when the words turn the minutes to hours? The searchers all say they'd have made Whitefish Bay if they'd put 15 more miles behind her. They might have split up or they might have capsized. They may have broke deep and took water. And all that remains is the faces and the names of the wives and the sons and the daughters. Lake Huron rolls, Superior sings in the rooms of her ice-water mansion. Old Michigan steams like a young man's dreams, the islands and bays are for sportsmen. And farther below, Lake Ontario takes in what Lake Erie can send her. And the iron boats go, as the mariners all know, with the gales of November remembered. In a musty old hall in Detroit they prayed in the Maritime Sailors' Cathedral. The church bell chimed till it rang 29 times for each man on the Edmund Fitzgerald. And the legend lives on from the Chippewa on down of the big lake they call Gitchagumi. Superior, they said, never gives up her dead when the gales of November come early.
of course, for some of us, that track takes us straight back to the days of John Shaw, the much missed John Shaw's programme. He used to play that a lot. He liked a story well told, and it's a year now since we lost John Shaw. What a shame that was, and much missed by those of us who love an interesting range of music on the radio. Let's put it like that. Playing that for Gary and Lynette. Enjoy your pint a little bit later on. Gary, we must meet up sometime. Now, I was having a rant earlier on about the BBC's choice of songs of the year that you were restricted to voting for via text, and Happy by Pharrell Williams. Gosh, that needs a bit more help, doesn't it? Along the way. And I'm thinking, there are so many more really brilliant songs that simply don't get heard, and to some extent that is what this programme is about. I've already mentioned The Christmas Present, the wonderful album produced by the Folkstock record label, Helen Meissner's Folkstock record label, and it was a privilege to be at the CD launch at the South Bank Centre a little while. This is a seasonal song. As indeed they all are from that album. It's a very, very good alternative late Christmas present if you haven't got one yet. And don't just take my word for it. Have a look at Clive Davis's review in the Sunday Times. An absolutely excellent review, and deservedly so. So this is a seasonal song, but it's a damn good song in its own right. It's called Snowman, and it uses the image of the snowman as a means of talking about, as a metaphor for the difficulty of maintaining a relationship with a serviceman. And after that, another bloody good song from this year. A really, really fine song indeed from Zoe Mulford. So, just chucking in a few of my songs of the year as the antidote to the BBC.
It's the winter when your mother says she can feel it in her bones. I feel it in my bones. And as it gets colder, I just want you closer, come home. But just like a snowman, I wake up and your eyes on the ground. And just like the season, you won't last for too long. I wake up and you go, 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 just like the snow. Go, 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 just like the snow. You know that it's the winter when your mother says she can feel it in her bones. I feel it in my bones. And one by one they fall in line. And one by one, I've watched them as they go. And just like snowmen wake up, they're gone, eyes on the ground. And just like the season, you won't last for too long. I wake up and you go, 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 just like the snow. You go, 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 just like the snow. Say the snow doesn't count unless it settles on the ground. Oh, do we not count until you promise that you'll settle down. Keep your eyes on the ground, and my dad's gloves on your hands, don't be a cold man. Keep your eyes on the ground, and my dad's gloves on your hands, don't be a cold man. This crystal glass was given to my grandma on her wedding day. It was one of 12 that were only used for guests, and it loves candlelight. It loves the morning sun, but it spent its days in darkness in a big oak chest, waiting for white linen and the silver and the wine. On a table set for angels it would shine. And she said, glasses may break if you use them every day. You must keep them safe, they're like hearts that way. Mostly you can get along with less. Wait for special times to use the best. This crystal glass was given to my mother as a legacy. It was one of 10 from my grandmother's estate. And it loves candlelight, it loves the morning sun, but it spent years marked fragile in a packing crate, till my mother rediscovered it in 1989. She held it to the light to see it shine, and she said, glasses may break if you use them every day. You can keep them safe, but what good are they if they just stay shut up in some chest? Why wait to use the very best? So here's a toast to lovely things. Hear the crystals speak as it clicks against my rings, and see the facets shine. Makes water taste like wine. Clink the glasses and they sing. This crystal glass was broken on a clumsy Monday morning. It was one of 4 that my mother gave to me. And it loved candlelight, it loved the morning sun, and I'm sad to see it go, but I still have 3. So I will pour some orange juice and drink to precious things. Shake the broken pieces and they sing, and they say, glasses may break if you use them every day. That's the risk you take. They're like hearts that way, and every day we'll put them to the test. But every day deserves the very best.
Great stuff. 2 cracking songs. That was Zoe Mulford and Elegy, brackets, Crystal Glass. And before that, Minnie Birch, Snowman from the folk stock album, The Christmas Present. And I urge you to think about that as a Christmas gift for somebody you love. There's quite a lot of very, very fine songs there indeed. Alternative Christmas music for you. And while we're on about very fine new songs that don't get enough airing, somebody's just brought this one to my attention. Plenty of songs about Icarus. This is another Icarus, that's what it's called. It's by a chap called David Waddington.
It's a table for turning, a bridge that needs burning. After the deal, when blood makes it real, it's a lesson for learning. It's there in his eyes, and the meaning it brings. He flies so high, another Icarus learns to fly. Does it mean that it's wrong if it's making me strong now? Like it or not, I'll give what I've got. It's been with me here all along. He climbs so high, beating like wings. It's there in his eyes, meaning it brings. He flies so high, another Icarus learns to fly. Easy come, easy go, soaring high above the sea.
That's another Icarus by David Waddington. I'm fading that prematurely to meet a request that's just come in for something that is sleep-related. That's for Matthew and Sarah, who are writing Christmas cards, and I can understand exactly why they want something sleep-related. And you'll hear most of Hush Little Baby by the Horseflies. And in the second hour, it's the interview with P.F. Sloan that was postponed from last week, so hope you can stay for that. He tells some interesting tales about life on the west coast of America in the 60s. If it was happening on the west coast of America in the 60s, he was there and had something to do with it. But for now, this is the Horseflies and Hush Little Baby, where it will be very, very shortly.
Looking glass, if that looking glass can